You carry real authority as a loss prevention officer, but every power has a boundary. Step over it, and you put yourself and your employer at risk of serious legal consequences. This lesson draws a clear line between what you can do and what you cannot. That leads straight to the core question every LP officer must answer. This is the foundation of everything in this lesson. You are not a police officer. That defines your role. Loss prevention officers operate under a different legal framework than sworn law enforcement. The gap between those two frameworks is where mistakes happen and where costly lawsuits are born. Understanding that gap keeps you, your employer, and the public safe.
This lesson covers 4 legal pillars. First, citizen arrest authority. That tells you when and how you can detain someone. Next, use of force limits. Those define how much physical intervention is ever acceptable. Then, trespass and exclusion rights. They explain what you can do with known offenders. Finally, liability exposure. That shows you what goes wrong when any of these are mishandled.
Let's start with citizen arrest authority, the first of our 4 legal pillars. This is the legal basis for almost everything you do when you stop and detain a shoplifting suspect. Understanding it precisely is not optional. It protects you, your employer, and the rights of the person you detain. Every state grants security guards some version of this power. Get it wrong, and you risk a false imprisonment claim. On the next slide, we'll break down what citizen arrest actually means in practice.
Citizen arrest is not police authority. It's a legal right granted to private individuals, including loss prevention officers, to detain someone they personally witnessed committing a crime. The key word is personally. You cannot act on a tip from a coworker, a customer complaint, or a hunch. If you didn't see the crime yourself, your legal footing is gone. Know that distinction. It's the difference between lawful detention and a costly mistake.
Before you detain anyone, every jurisdiction requires all 5 steps. You see them pick up the item, you watch them conceal it, you maintain continuous sight, no gaps. Then you confirm they passed the register and finally exit the store. If you break that chain, the detention becomes unlawful. Doesn't matter if they actually stole it. Once you've satisfied all 5 steps for a lawful detention, the next big challenge is force. This is where LP officers face the greatest personal legal risk. Serious injuries and lawsuits happen here more than anywhere else. We'll cover what makes force reasonable and proportional.
For LP officers, the legal standard is reasonable and proportional force. On one end, verbal direction is your first and best tool. Minimal physical control, like guiding an arm, may be acceptable during a lawful detention. On the far end, strikes, chokeholds, and weapons are prohibited in nearly every retail LP context. If force exceeds what's necessary to complete the detention, you've crossed into assault.
This is one of the hardest things to accept in this job, but it's critical. If a suspect pulls away, runs, or physically escalates, your safest move is almost always to disengage. You are not obligated to physically overpower anyone. Letting someone go does not mean you failed. It means you protected yourself, your employer, and the public from a situation that could easily turn catastrophic. As we saw, detention has risks. But you have another option. Exclude known offenders from the property entirely. No confrontation, no physical escalation. Issuing a trespass notice is a clean, legal ban. It's a powerful, non-confrontational tool. Once banned, they can't come back without risking arrest. That's the power of trespass authority. Next, we'll cover how it works. Trespass authority comes from property rights. As the owner's representative, you can formally tell someone they're banned from the premises. Once you issue and document that notice, any return becomes a criminal offense law enforcement can act on. Documentation is the key. If it's only a verbal warning with no record, you've got nothing to enforce. But trespass, for all its power, has real limits. You cannot use it to target individuals based on race, ethnicity, or any protected characteristic. Doing so crosses into discrimination and creates massive liability for you and the property owner. And when someone refuses to leave, your job is to call law enforcement, not to physically drag them off the premises. That's the line between legitimate enforcement and liability exposure. That brings us to the final pillar, liability. Every decision on the floor carries legal consequences if it crosses a line. Know where your exposure comes from, whether it's use of force, unlawful detainment, or discriminatory treatment, and you can sidestep costly lawsuits and protect your organization and its reputation. Next up, the 4 most common liability triggers. These 4 categories, false imprisonment, excessive force, defamation, and discrimination, cause most civil claims against LP officers and their employers. Each one ties directly back to what we've covered. The solution is simple. Follow the 5-step standard. Use proportional force, keep observations private and factual, and apply policies consistently to everyone. Make these habits your routine every shift. They are your best defense. This table shows the essential difference in a nutshell. Your authority comes from property rights and citizen arrest law, not from state power. That means you can only detain under strict conditions, must use minimal proportional force, and have no right to search without consent. Knowing this distinction protects you every time you step onto the floor. It keeps you within your legal boundaries and ensures you act within your authority.
Here's the key takeaways from this lesson. Citizen arrest. You can only detain if you personally saw all 5 elements of the Shoplifting Act. No exceptions. Force. It must be the minimum necessary and proportional to the resistance you face. Trespass notices are your friend. They carry much lower risk than physical intervention. And liability? Watch out for false imprisonment, excessive force, defamation, and discrimination. Those are your 4 biggest legal pitfalls. That's the line you need to stay on the right side of. Keep it with you on every shift.
You carry real authority.